hang on to your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer.
What is going on, entertainers? So time coming out with another video. We're doing Hollywood Hot Topics. All right. First, I wanted to get into is this Porsha interview. I was able to watch it in full, you guys, and I have some thoughts. Let me tell y'all, Porsha to me has mastered the concept of media. I believe everybody that wants to do reality TV or is in reality TV needs to learn from Porsha, because the way Porsha did this interview, she basically took every question that Carlos asked and she made it into her own question and answered it how she wanted the question answered, but reframe the question to what the question she would want the question to be like. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, she quaffed the question herself after he asked it. So she really has learned how to master an interview. But I really feel like, though, had it been any other person, she wouldn't have been able to pull that. I ain't gonna lie to you, because to be honest, Carlos is like a friend to her at this point. So let it have been somebody of like another media source, she would not have been able to kind of swim and slither her way out of some of the questioning. But this interview did make me appreciate her a lot more, and it made me understand a perspective about the Simon situation that I wish that she had stated earlier. So it starts off with like the state of the show, and she said that season 16 she was sort of shocked at Kenya getting fired. This how I feel about that. That kind of bothered me. I'm gonna tell y'all why. When Kenya got fired, you were team Brit, Porsha. Like, you sided with Brit heavily, which I understand because Kenya was dead ass wrong. But you did not champion for her to come back for them to resolve it. You were okay with Kenya being fired and not coming back. Of course, Porsha could not legally do anything with Kenya coming back, but you literally severed all ties with Kenya. You stopped speaking to her. You seem like you didn't want a relationship with her whatsoever. So it's like, I understand what she did with Britt was dead ass wrong, and I don't think it should be defended. But what did she do to you? That's the part that, like, it irritated me a little bit, because it's like you switched up on Kenya again when she literally didn't do anything to you. Like, you sided with Britt, and you like, you made it seem as if you and Britt were going to develop this long-lasting friendship when that girl quit, and you probably don't even talk to her to this day. Probably never gonna see her in the rest of your life. Straight up. And it's like, if Kenya comes back, now it's gonna be awkward again because of what you kind of like did. So that's the only thing that bothers me, is like, don't try to make it seem like you were like, oh my God, like devastated to like the brand because Kenya was gone. Because it's like, you could, although you wanted her there, but you really wanted her there because you know she gonna take the villain role. Kenya gonna work. Kenya gonna give good TV. So that would basically take a little bit of attention from all the stuff that you had going on, and you would have been less of the focus. So, I kind of wish Carlos kind of protruded and kept pushing for that answer a little bit more in depth, because that to me is what's not being talked about, is how she kind of switched up on Kenya after that whole situation went down. Okay, because I feel like as a friend, you can let somebody know, like, hey, I didn't like what you did. I don't agree with what you did. You should be a damn shame of yourself. But I'm still gonna be friends. We still gonna be cool with each other. Porsha was like, girl, screw you out. Bye. I was like, damn. Okay. And you could tell Kenya was hurt about that. Her and Cynthia. Okay. She then starts to talk about the fact that she likes a cast that works. She likes the cast that puts in kind of all their lives out there, so that way she could work a little bit less. Hence what I stated earlier when it came to Kenya, because if Kenya is there, the girlies don't have to work as much, because guess what? Kenya gonna make sure to clock in. She's going to make sure to make it interesting. She's gonna make sure to make it messy. Okay. She then starts to talk about a little bit of season 6 and how a lot of it came about with the whole divorce situation and her being like a trophy wife and the old school value of marrying up. Now, I agree with Porsha when it came to this. I feel like if you're trying to marry, why would you marry down? I don't feel like there's anything wrong with marrying up. The term gold digger to me is overused. Why would you want to be with somebody who's struggling financially when you could be with somebody who has it together and is or wealthy that you like? Like, I don't feel like it's wrong to go for somebody that is of a higher caliber that you really messing with, that y'all go together, y'all like each other, y'all compatible. Like, what's so wrong with that? You get what I'm saying? So it's just like it's different though if you just with that person strictly for the money and you do not like that person. But I do feel like Portia liked Cordell at one point up until she realized he was the amount. That's when she turned. When she saw that he was sassy and a little, a diabolical, and was literally he said, I want to be the star. You know how deep his voice was. He said, I'm the only star in this house. Apparently, they got into it at one point, and he said in their house when they were arguing, he said, it's only gonna be one star in this house, referring to himself. I said, oh, he was that type of girl. I couldn't believe it. I said, damn. Like, of course, it seemed bad, of course, because he put her out, but I didn't think it was that bad. That he was so like, he was like another Simon, but just not African. Like, I couldn't believe that. I said, wow. So, of course, you made the same mistake twice. Yeah. Okay. And what was interesting and I love that she mentioned was Nene. Y'all know Portia and Nene didn't have the best relationship, but the fact that she gave her props, I really appreciated that. You could tell Portia has really grown in this interview, based off this interview. She has grown a lot. Her maturity level to me has skyrocketed. She's not that girl that used to let people get to her so easily and get so angry easily. You could tell now she's a little bit more in control of her emotions and she knows how to handle it a lot more than the past. So for that, I'm gonna give my props up to Porsche. Okay, I'm gonna give my props up to Porsche. You can really tell, especially towards the end when she was talking about the newer season, right? So apparently, Nene warned her like, "Hey, you do know like you open a can of worms, and it's only gonna be one star in the house, right?" And then he said in the argument, according to Portia, when they got into it, that it's only gonna be one star in the house. All right. Then we get into this whole Fallon Simon situation. Now, this is what bothers me with Portia. Why would you not clear your name for a rumor and a plot line like this? At the point that you were dating Simon on a serious note, you had already left the show, correct? So her saying that she kept things a secret, kept things under wraps because it wasn't her place. I understand her not telling the fact that Fallon is or was pregnant. That I understand completely. But the fact of the matter of both of them have moved on and both of them were in or dating or trying to get into other relationships, and that's when Simon ended up with you, Portia. Why the hell would you not tell media like, hey, you know she in a whole new relationship, she's pursuing somebody, both of them are separated. Why would you let that narrative run? That to me was dumb of Portia to do because now your name is tainted. You are literally like a husband stealer, known as in the media now, especially in the housewives world. So why would you let that narrative run instead of clearing it up? And I get the fact of, oh, I don't care what people think. But girl, it's not like they accusing you of stealing like an idea. Girl, they accusing you of stealing somebody's husband. Like that's not something you want on your name. You walk in a room, a business meeting, you have women side eyeing you. It's just like that's the part that bothered me. Like, why wouldn't you want to clear something like that up and let the narrative run for so long? For what? That's what bothers me. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now she did say she takes accountability for the optics for it because the reason why I say what I said earlier is because once you're off the show, you don't owe Bravo any loyalty in regards to storyline and to upkeep a story. So the way she was making it seem, she was trying to make it seem like she was holding it like under wraps to kind of upkeep a story or something. And I'm like, girl, you're not on the show. I would have been telling it all like I'd have been singing like a canary. Okay. What Miss Diana said from DD for a canary. Y'all remember they had a girl named Canary? I would have been singing like a canary. I'm not for to be quiet. So world keep bashing me. I look crazy. I don't give a crap. Fuck a story, a upkeep. I don't care. I'm telling straight up. Now she says she doesn't owe Fallon an apology. I don't think she owes Fallon an apology. But I will say though, Karma did get her back. I don't care what nobody says. Like, regardless of the fact that, because they broke it down, which somebody who watches reality TV, I know how this works. When they bring out new housewife on or a friend of that they're testing, they have to bring it through another housewife. You just can't pop up at a party and they bump into you on the shoulder. You say, "Oh, who are you?" Unless you're like a big ass name. When you're a big ass name, they don't really put too much emphasis on you coming through somebody. You kind of like get interwoven in the group. So they assigned Fallon to Porsha. So she was going to be Portia's friend, right? And that to me would have gave me even more of a reason to clear up my name because I'm not your friend, straight up. Like, man, the way I would have been exposed in Bravo, I'd have been like, "Hey, I'll show y'all the text right now. This is what they showed me assigning her. I met this girl on filming. This the proof. And what? Sorry, Andy and them, but y'all not finna make me look crazy. She been sleeping with somebody else. He's been dating other people, and now he dating me. And we finna get married after he get a divorce. Like, it's just not that hard. It's just not that hard. Okay. So she was introduced through a Porsha and was signed to Porsha. And Porsha said she only met her a little bit when they started filming or whatever, and that's when everything went down. So she hates the fact that people ran with this narrative because it did seem like she was her good homegirl for a long period of time, and then that's when they started dating. Okay. So then the part that I'm calling cap is when she starts talking about quitting like all of her jobs because of the wealth he provided and it took place. And she said that she did not quit because of him. She had already planned on leaving. I don't know if I believe that, Portia. I'm sorry. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. I feel as if you did not meet Simon and y'all did not connect and you didn't find out he was a quote unquote rich African, you would not have left Atlanta Housewives. It's no shade. I think Portia would have stayed on that show. You cannot tell me nothing different. Like, please, that's a big check to walk away from if you're not certain of a financial replacement. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, really, Portia? Sure, Jan. So I don't know if I believe all that, but what's her name said? Johnson said, "I'm gonna let you keep living it up, not paying your taxes." Okay, Portia pays her taxes, but yeah, like we gonna let you run with that. I don't really believe it, but we gonna let Portia run with that. Okay. And I also found another reason why she ended up leaving too is because she did not want to answer the questioning in regards to being with Simon. And I know her answer to that question is, wouldn't it be worse for me to come after the divorce and then have to answer to it? Well, not really, in my opinion, because when you're in the midst of it, that's when everybody gonna have more questions. Like, when did you meet him? Why y'all get married so quick and all that? Like, do you actually know who he is? Why y'all get married? So, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it really would have been worse had you went there while you were in the process of being with him and getting married. So to me, that was a little bit of a cop out in that question. But once again, Carlos is her friend. So it kind of allowed her to maneuver and formulate the question how she wanted it formulated. Okay. Now I will say Portia was preaching in this interview. All right. Shit made me want to start speaking tongues. Okay. When she was saying about do not live for people's cheers. That is such a word. And Portia, okay, preacher Portia. We're gonna call her preacher Portia. Preacher Portia, you literally said a word right there. That is such a good advice that I feel like anybody needs to take, because if you live for people's applause and you live for people's approval on what you're doing, you are never going to be happy. Straight up. You are going to learn the hard way. Do not live for people's cheers, because as Portia said in this interview, at night it becomes very silent. And I made that a point in my life too, to not like care about being praised and stuff like that. Like, of course, I appreciate compliments and stuff like that, but I try not to go searching for it, because once it's no longer there and people switch up, that's where your feelings get hurt. Okay. So you really got to be like your biggest fan. Like, in order to be happy, and this is why Portia's so happy. Let me tell you how Portia's so happy. And it's something I admire about her. She's very selfish in how she feels about herself, like to the point of delusion. Like she does not care what anyone says about her. All she cares about is how she feels about herself and what makes her happy. And that's the only way you could be happy. Like you really have to do that in life. It does not matter who gonna say what and all that. And that's probably a reason why she did not end up speaking out. I just feel like with the severity of a situation that she was in, I think it would require you at least saying and clearing up certain stuff just so that way your name's not tainted. Because I feel like, in my opinion, when it comes to this industry, like your name is everything. Like once that's tarnished, it's hard to get it back like clean. So then she starts talking about her wealth. Now, Carlos, he really irritated me at this point. You trying to get Portia caught up. Thank you for Portia for being smart. This is what I'm telling you. Portia has grown. Because old Portia would have been like, I got 15 million in the bank, I got naked. She didn't do that. She made sure to not say a number because the moment you get caught on record saying how rich you are, how much money you making, you are screwed. Cause the moment you financially fall, bitch, they will take that and throw it in your face. So thank you, Portia, for being smart enough to not state how much you are making financially. Because that could have easily backfired on her so hard, and she would have left her looking like a fool. So I'm like, oh, thank God she didn't say how much she made. Because I done seen this with so many housewives and how they brag about how rich and how luxurious their life is. And then months or years later, they either going bankrupt, they get in trouble for fraud, they getting arrested, they didn't, they going broke. Like it's always like the opposite happens after they say it. Okay. And she was saying that she's blessed. And Carlos just annoyed me because he kept protruding. He kept being so invasive, kept trying to ask, like, no, I don't like. I'm for one. I don't like talking about money. Y'all never catch me saying how much I make, like on here or just in life in general, because it's like I'm the type of person. I just feel like you shouldn't do that. Like just think I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? Think I'm destitute. Like I want people to think that. So that way I don't ask me for nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just think that, oh my God, like I'm just down and out. It's better for people to think that you down and out than think that you rich as all hell, because then that's when you start getting plotted on. All right. We then get to Shamia, and Portia's so dramatic. Now I was looking on Twitter, and apparently Shamia either said something about Portia's mother or said, and it's in the trailer, she says, "Oh, Portia's dating all these Africans. Like she's been screwing these Africans for years." And they sort of like pan the camera to Kelly, and it made it seem like Kelly is saying it. Meanwhile, it's really Portia. I mean, meanwhile, it's really Shamia. Excuse me. That's singing in the background, and they dubbed it and made it look like it was Kelly saying it. Which I don't feel like that's the worst thing that has been said about you, Portia. I feel like the worst thing is Kenya at that reunion saying, "Oh my God, Portia, you don't even know what you're saying. If you don't have if you don't have it in your mouth, you don't even know what you're saying." To me, that was disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that made Portia have a loss for words. But you saying that you sleeping or dating Africans and all that, Claudia been said that years ago, girl. Like, I hope it's not that, and it's something actually serious. Cause she said, that's Shamia. I don't, I refrain from talking about her in interviews because she did something so low down. And Portia let us say that word, low down. Everybody low down, right? Everybody low down according to that damn Portia. She's like, she did something so low down that y'all gonna see this season that I don't really want to refrain from talking about her. Once again, had that been somebody else, bitch, I would have been like, you're not gonna tell me how much money you make. We're gonna talk about Shamia though. Let's talk about Shamia. Why I really fell out. How you feel about her? And when Portia was asked the question, did she ever come to you and say, "Hey, friend, I want to be a peach holder. Put me on Housewives. I want to be a full-time peach holder." And Portia didn't answer that. That told me everything I needed to know. I'm just being fair here. That told me Shamia probably did ask that, and Portia tried everything to not make that happen. But that's just how life is. Certain friends do not want you in certain spaces, in certain opportunities that they may have themselves. So it didn't really surprise me that she answered that in that way, or didn't answer it, or refrained from giving an answer, basically. Okay. And then we get to talking about K Michelle. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Now, K Michelle has been on Twitter ranting because she feels like a lot of people have been coming for her, and she don't like the fact that people are making the fact that she's on the show very negative, so on and so forth, right? And then she talks about K Michelle's storyline this season and how she feels as if she is going to look back at that season and not like the fact that her and Drew are going at it and the way her and Drew are going at it. And she feels like she's gonna regret it. And I basically Portia trying to say the fans are not gonna like K Michelle by the end of the season. She was really trying to pussyfoot around it, but I'm telling y'all straight. She basically gonna is saying that Kim Shaw gonna look like a fool with her beef with Drew, which I figured. Didn't I predict that some months ago? I've been said that. I said something about the way that they're beefing and how hard K was going at her. It's not gonna work in her favor. Mind you, you're a new peach holder. They usually Bravo fans and how they are. It's not like Love and Hip Hop. They don't side with newbies. They side with the vets. So when you come around trying to start stuff and you're not having a valid and a legit reason for coming at somebody, you gonna look like a plumb fool. So I'm kind of scared for K Michelle, and I hope she braces herself. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about as well was her and the tweets. So apparently this was geared towards people trolling her, making commentary about her on YouTube and just in general for this new sneak peek that dropped of her saying that she didn't get a prenup and all of that. K Michelle, you gotta buckle up, babe. Bravo fans are nothing like VH1 fans. It's a whole different monster. It's more eyes on you, it's more criticism on you. The fandom is a lot crazier. And mind you, the fandom doesn't give a crap. They will bring up a season that was 9 years ago and talk about it and have it trending number two, three, straight up. You'll look on Twitter and you'll see season 6 trending when the pillow fight happened. Like they will bring something like that up. So if you're not ready for that, this might not be the platform for you, babe. Straight up. Cause I'm telling you, like Bravo gets real gritty. It made Love and Hip Hop look like a joke. To be honest, Love and Hip Hop fandom, I don't even think the fandom is even that big in my opinion. Like it's big, but it's like it died down over the years to where the fandom's not as toxic. Bravo fandom is extremely toxic. So I really hope some of the housewives reach out to her and kind of let her know and put her up on game on how this works. Cause I would hate for her to ruin opportunities just off of the fact that she can't handle her emotions because of her getting criticized. So that's just how I feel about that. Now the interview kind of ended with her teasing a little bit about what's going on later on in the season. She said she even texted K Michelle about the whole miscarriage situation, and then K Michelle afterwards went on Twitter and did like some rants. So she was like, "Oh, now I kind of know who I'm dealing with." I ain't gonna lie, I'm on Portia's side when it comes to this. I'm on Portia's side because you cannot say you forgive me and get over something. Next thing you know, you back on Twitter talking about the same thing that you say you was over with, like you were over. That to me is hypocritical. And that to me shows that you're trying to gain and garner some type of attention. That automatically is gonna make me not trust you. So because of that, I'm on Portia's side. This is what I mean where somebody needs to put K Michelle on game because I don't think she knows the game. It's a housewives game. To me, it's a whole game. Straight up. Now, Portia talks about her sexuality, says she Portia sexual. Girl, please, you bisexual, okay? You're the B in LGBT, like Candy says. Okay, don't pick up your phone. I had some emotion. Let me stop. Speaking of housewives, y'all need to leave Candy alone. Leave Candy alone. That was pretty much the interview. I enjoyed it. Carlos does an amazing job on interviews. Of course, once again, that is more like a friend to him. So I didn't expect him to go too deep because Portia's a smarter girl when it comes to media these days, and she knows how to work it. Okay. Let me know what y'all thought about the interview and what did y'all think about some of the answers that she gave. So Megan, bring that ass here, girl. Now, y'all all know that whole breakup with Clay. Well, it looks like she decided to cancel her appearance on her Broadway run on Moulin Rouge after the breakup. I do not agree with her doing this. I don't care what nobody says. There's been a lot of things we've seen a lot of celebrities go through. and just people in the industry go through, and them being music, and them continue doing the show. You do not, to me, cancel shows or appearances over something like this because the severity of it is not that extreme. People break up every day, B. You get what I'm saying? It's not like somebody passed. That's the only way I see canceling shows makes sense. If somebody passes away or somebody is on the way to pass away or is sick, that's when you do that. If a nigga cheat on you and go about their business, Megan, this has not been your first time, babe. So I just don't agree with her doing this. I feel like to me it's a little bit unprofessional. She put out a statement on Instagram and said, Hotties, my last performance as Zidler in Moulin Rouge Bay will be May 1st. It's been such an honor to be a part of the Moulin Rouge family, and I've met so many amazing people in this theater. Y'all work so hard, and I have so much respect for the dedication, the stamina, the work ethic, and the time and the effort y'all put into the work. I'm so grateful for the cast and crew that made this experience so meaningful. And to all the hotties that showed up or plan to attend, thank you for supporting me during this incredible journey. I love y'all. See y'all soon. I just wish that she hasn't did that because people don't know how this affects like the rest of the cast. Because then, if they have to get somebody to be in her placement, that may throw off some of the other casts. Once again, I feel as if theater is one of the hardest things when it comes to acting. I used to do a little bit back in a couple years ago, back here and there, and I hate it. I hate it. Okay, like it is not easy. All right, but I just do not feel as if her canceling it was the right thing to do. I feel like her continuing and finishing it off would have been like a bad type of move instead of like folding how she did. Cause girl, you was outside. Look at you. You outside. You know what I'm saying? You outside. You could be working. I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be working. I just don't think she should have did that at all. All right. And I also feel like other theater productions and stuff are gonna be looking at that. They're gonna be like, oh, if her life is so drama filled, we don't want her pulling out on certain parts of the show. If something does come up, if a dude breaks up with her. Now the rumor mill out there, from what I've heard, is they are in communication, her and Clay, but that may be a huge rumor and it may be false. But that is what I heard, is that they're in some sort of communication and they may be popping back out soon. So don't be surprised if days from this video you see them popping out back together again, and then she's gonna say, oh, I never said I broke up with him. We're just going through with it. We've seen a lot of couples do that before, so it wouldn't shock me if that were to happen. Okay, now let's talk Rick Ross and French Montana and the verses. They are doing a verses soon, and I feel like French Montana, you are setting yourself up. Now, French Montana does have a lot of songs. Now, this, because I see a lot of people in the comments are like, oh my god, he don't have a lot of songs on his own. He may not be rapping on it, but he has a lot of songs that he has produced, which then in turn are his songs. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like his catalog is a lot bigger than what people may know. Y'all just are not familiar with his whole entire catalog. But Rick Ross is going to obliterate him straight up. Rick Ross to me has a lot more old classic hits than Fresh Montana will. So in a verses, I think he's going to get slaughtered. He is setting himself up for a big failure doing this. Okay. All Rick Ross got to do is play, I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Like, and he's just going to have to pack it up. Okay. He gonna have to just pack it up. Okay. Like, just like, yeah. Who you guys think is going to win in this versus between the two, Rick Ross or French Montana? All right. And I also feel like too, when it comes to music, the music to me, like, I don't know. I feel like that's an unequal balance of a match. Like both of them rap, don't get me wrong, but would I put them in the same lane? No. French Montana makes to me a lot more party rap music, while Rick Ross makes actual like rap hip hop music. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like French Montana makes the songs that you hear in the clubs. Rick Ross does too, don't get me wrong, but you hear in the clubs, the raves, and all that type of stuff. Rick Ross does like hard street hip hop type of rap. So I feel like maybe it should have been like Rick Ross versus Jeezy or something like that. Like something a little bit more even versus like a French Montana. But I feel like it's gonna go on the way of Rick Ross. Let me know what y'all think down below. Who y'all think gonna walk out with that W? I ain't gonna lie, Slim Thug, it's getting a little weird. Back to Megan, okay? What Nene said, it's getting weird. Cause what makes you think you just Slim Thug is the definition of a real life grown. Go home, Roger. Because what made you think you had a chance with Megan to the point where you said you wouldn't be in a relationship with her? He's not interested, but he don't mind having the sugar babies and stuff around. Any sugar babies in the comments that would be down to date Slim Thug and swing from his beard? Let me know.
Yeah, but I hate to see that though. No, I'm good. I'm a sugar baby. Acts of service is my love language, and it's been working. So you know what I'm saying. I've been said that shit right. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You feel?
I remember he was trying to get y'all remember College Hill? He was trying to get Dream Doll, and Dream Doll was not going, girl. That Dream Doll was not going for it. You hear me? That damn Slim Thug wanted Dream Doll bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I won't even be able to be myself. And y'all was like, y'all was like, you Bobby, you want to do this? You mad? You no, I know what that is. I can't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I know I can't deal with that. I'm gonna be in trouble. I can't come on Thugger News. I can't talk shit. I'd be in trouble every day. I'm getting boycotted from everybody. You sorry, motherfucker. You did. You dog. You. So I don't even sign up for no shit like that. I like y'all can stop that. We ain't starting that today. I hate to see that. I hate to see that. I'm not never rooting for that. But that's why, that's why I can't be in that situation, because if you get in a situation like that, look what happens when it don't work out. How many times have I told y'all that though? How many times have I came on here and say, nah, I don't want that because I don't want to get married, because they go, you. Well, how many times, how many days every day I tell y'all what they gonna do? How many days you see me saying this right? So that's why I just don't never sign up.
As much as some of y'all is making fun of Slim Thug, he makes a good point. I feel like there comes a time to where if you're gonna be in a relationship with a high profile celebrity, there's a lot of things that come with it. It's as if you have to gain media training, and you have to also gain a sense of how the media works once you're dating a high profile celebrity. Gone are the days where like a celebrity dates somebody that's like unknown or not as big as them, and they're able to recuperate after like a breakup, or they kind of go in obscenity after they break up. Now that's not the case. You become a whole star in itself. Because let's be honest, who the hell was talking about Klay Thompson besides the people that are heavily into sports before he got with Megan Thee Stallion? Now y'all pulling old pictures of the man. Y'all making fun of the way he looks. Y'all talking about his family. Y'all talking about this. Y'all talking about that. All because he broke up. Not broke up, but all because he's no longer with Megan Thee Stallion. So there comes a point where once you with a high profile celebrity, you become somewhat of a celebrity yourself now. Now, Klay Thompson doesn't seem to be mincing words and or missing the old life, because he says it feels good to be back when during a boat trip.
Nothing like the ocean, let me tell you. Hey, Blue. Oh, let me just my jam right here, boys. Come on. Chili, I'm thinking just like, if I see a fat sheep, I'm pulling the trigger. Easy. No, I'm not out here trying to. What's the thing here if you don't do trips? I'm gonna be back on the high seas.
Okay, that relationship pressure be something nasty. Ugh, okay. At this point, Maggie, you need to date a businessman that does not want to be in media. Straight up. You need to date a businessman that is so like off of anything social that he doesn't even know how to work anything of that sort. And I also feel like Megan needs to heal before she goes back into any relationship or dating. It's sad when you see somebody who constantly hops from like they break up with somebody and they're immediately into another relationship. That shows that that person is not a healed person, straight up. Because there's no reason why you cannot take somewhat of a break in between relationships that you're so quickly to hop into a new one soon. That I feel like is a big red flag in people, and that's not called out enough when you're constantly hopping from a relationship to a relationship. So Chris Brown recently dropped his cover art for his new album titled Brown. Okay, and it's given the Thriller album cover. And this is Thriller. Okay, the album cover where Michael Jackson is sitting down with that jacket and he's leaning over, right? It's emulating that album cover. So any album covers like this, if you're trying to emulate a iconic pose, you better be coming with some heat. Okay, it better be not 30 songs of BS. Because okay, here's how I feel about Chris Brown in honesty, right? A lot of people compare him to Michael Jackson, which I feel like performance-wise, he could be compared to Michael Jackson, performance-wise. I feel as if when it comes to catalog, I don't think he could see Michael Jackson. And the reason why is because what bothers me with Chris Brown is he'll put out an album with like 15 or plus songs, and some of the songs to me are skippable or very repetitive or sound like the other. Michael Jackson never did that. Every song sounded very different. Every song stood out. There wasn't much filler. So I really hope this is another album to where it's like 30 plus songs like that album that he put out. Y'all remember that one? And I'm talking about Heartbreak with a Full Moon. That damn album had 20 plus songs. Let me see, because it's been a minute since I listened to the album. Oh, yeah. That album had 45 songs. That's a lot. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, you can't tell me that every track on that every track gonna be fire. So, like, I feel like when it comes to Chris Brown, he needs to realize what Justice said. It's quality, that quantity. Like, please, we do not need the 16, 19 ass songs. We need some at least 13 or 14 solid tracks. Okay, solid tracks, and please do not have them sound similar. That's all I want from this album. Okay. I'm excited to listen to it. Y'all know I'm gonna head out to the album. Okay. We are going to go to that Chris Brown and Usher concert. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Okay. All right. Now Ice Spice has recently popped out with a recent appearance, you guys. And I cannot show it due to YouTube guidelines, but just know that like her Debbie Cakes or Debbie Hagan. Okay. And Carlissa took to live to basically give her opinion about the Debbie Cakes. And she feels as if a lot of people are leading her astray as to how her cakes appear.
It's too jiggly, too wiggly, and too loose for her to be that young. One baby and she gonna be out of socket. Y'all done told
And it saddens me, Kelly. And what am I?
Oh.
Ice Spice, it look good, girl. Just a little cellulite. Talking about that look real. That girl is too young for all of that wagon to be dragging like that. And y'all know it too. One baby and she gonna look like the trailer park. One baby is all it takes, and you will not be making a comeback, okay? You ain't supposed to have that much cellulite till you get about what, 40, 45? 45. That booty look like my grandma booty. Y'all over there lying to that baby. Tell her she got to get back in there and tighten some of that up. And we don't want to see it no more till she do it. Now, if you just want your wagon to be dragging, that's fine. But if you gonna let your wagon come out and let people see it, it got to look how mine was looking. Y'all seen my wagon, so I got room to talk. It ain't supposed to be dragging like that.
Okay, here's how I feel about it. Now, I will say this: Ice Spice shouldn't be walking around with her Debbie Cakes out like that. This is why people do not take her serious as an artist. Why are you walking out with a dragon? You get what I'm saying? We gonna call her Debbie Cakes a dragon. You should not have your dragon out like that. Like her dragon is just out. Okay, it does give Tink what? Tink who? Bitch Tink do. It gives that more than Tinka. You know what I'm saying? It really does. But I feel like a lot of people are not used to how natural bodies look like without having the BBL perfect bottom. So looking at an Ice Spice, that is how a lot of women in 2026 do look on the bottom half. But we're not used to seeing that on social media because all we're used to seeing is the perfect BBL body that's being coiffed and curved by Dr. Curves a la Ivory. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's where the issue comes in. But what bothers with Ice Spice is you're leading with your butt. You're leading with your butt. That is why when she lost the weight, people made it such a big to do because she's leading with her butt. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like she needs to stop leading with her butt because that is what makes people look at her as a less serious artist because a lot of people think about when it comes to her is booty, booty, booty. Okay. And Carlissa, you have all these things to say about Ice Spice. When they get on Blue and they start calling all types of idiots and incels, you can't get mad. Okay. Because we're allowed to have that opinion on him too. All right. Let me know what y'all think down below about this video. Stay tuned for more. And we are babies.